Hello everybody, this is the Doctor and welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online. I am going to get us queued up for ICE, CSE, and CASE on the Science Odyssey Cruiser, and we're going to take a look at those Borg Elite STFs on this ship. But before I jump into that, there is one thing that I forgot to show you in the intro video of the Operations Odyssey as well as the Science Odyssey, and that is the unique bridge. So let's visit our Starship bridge, because the Odyssey comes with a unique bridge and it is worth looking at. So here it is, folks. This is the unique Odyssey bridge. Transporter in the back, very big transporter, you can fit a lot of people in there. It makes it easy to just transport to and from the bridge, I guess. But I like this. It's kind of like a downsloped kind of thing, like a sloped dome type of deal here, which is really cool. It makes it look more aerodynamic, even though you don't need that in space. It just looks cooler. Got windows on the side. I love real windows. I hate bridges that don't have real windows. I don't want to look through a view screen. If I were in space flying in a ship, I would want to look out a real window into space, not a view screen. I want to look out a real window. And we know they can use transparent metals, so there's no reason why they can't have, you know, windows. And this ship's got them. And as you look out the window, you can even see the ship. How awesome is that? It's actually out there. It's not just nothing. There is a ship out there. But I like having these windows. You can see what's going on around you. You can see what's going on around the ship. That is really cool. But what really is neat is when you come down here. So obviously you've got a big window up top. I love that. That is a huge view into space up above. Love it. Makes it seem bigger in here too. Here is the captain's seat. It seems a little far away to me from the view screen, but I guess the Enterprise seats have always been far away from the view screen, except for the original ship. This one just seems a little far away for the size of the screen. I think that the view screen would need to be a lot bigger if the seat's going to be this far away. My opinion is that it should be like out to here. It should be like this sized. That would seem appropriate for the chair being way out here. If the chair were closer, like here, then that size screen makes sense. So that's the only problem I see with that. But anyway, that's just a scaling issue. Anyway, the view screen is not your typical like on the wall view screen. You can actually come behind it, and there's more window out here, so you can actually, you know, stand in the front of the ship like this and look out the window, you know, beyond the view screen and the chairs. It's a big bridge. Look at that. It's a huge bridge, actually. It's very large, very spacious. But I like that for a bridge. It's a spacious bridge. I like it. I just think the captain's chair should be a little closer to the view screen. I also really like the design choice they chose for the consoles, the computer consoles. They're not just like on the table. They're actually like holograms floating above the consoles. So you interact with the holograms, and all of the consoles are like that. Come back here and look at these stations. Curved displays. So there you go, folks. That proves that curved displays is the future. It's not a trend. It's not a trend after all. So get your curved TV. Get your curved cell phone. Curved holographic displays are the future, man. Curved displays are in the 25th century. Look at that curve. Look at that. Nice. All of them are like that. So this is a pretty bridge. I love it. They did a really good job on this bridge. Here's the ready room. It's typical of all of the ready room we get on all the other ships. Nothing really unique about it. Doesn't really fit the bridge either, because it's a design for the ready room that they've used in past ships. So you come from the the bridge into the ready room. It's kind of very different. Doesn't really match. They need to work on that. Need some new ready rooms. Oh, and here's a down part. I didn't even know that was here. So here's more down here. You got people working down here under the bridge doing who knows what. But they've got an awesome view behind the bridge, behind the ship. There she is. There's the back of her, I'm guessing. Although, where are the nacelles? Shouldn't I be seeing the nacelles if I'm looking behind the ship? That's a little weird. Maybe they need to fix that. But anyway, I like the idea that anywhere you are on the bridge, you can see completely around the ship. You can see behind the ship. You can see beside the ship. You can see in front of the ship. Oh no, that's the front. Oh, okay, never mind. You can't see behind the bridge. My bad. Everyone's probably butt clenching right now. You stupid idiot! That's the front of the ship, not the back of the ship. I just realized that. This is the front of the ship. Okay. So you've got just multiple platforms of the front of the ship. But that's cool anyway. You got the front, the sides, the top that you can see all from the bridge. That is really cool. Let's go to the crew deck. Pretty typical. They don't really have anything special down here. Let's go to engineering. We'll look at engineering, although I don't think it's a unique engineering. I think it's just the standard engineering stuff you get, which is not that not that impressive. They really need a new engineering area. They need this warp core to like be big and just a really big room, a really big warp core and modern. They need to update all. This is old. This is from when the game first started. This is like when you started the tutorial, the very first tutorial in the game. This was one of the rooms you actually came to, was the engineering room, and it was exactly like this, except for the console textures they've updated. But otherwise, they really need new engineering room. That's one thing they need to update. That's old, very old. Crew deck is also, I wonder if they have like 10 forward or recreation room or whatever it's called. I'm sure they do somewhere. This is all the same. This is like pretty much standard for any ship. Yeah, here it is. Nothing really unique about any of this. It's just the bridge that's unique. So I just wanted to show you guys that because it's a really cool bridge on the Odyssey, and I wish they would update the other parts of the ship now because it just doesn't match. Anyway, very, very good looking bridge. Love it. And I guess that's where it's located, is right there. So yeah, you can see there's the big dome. There would be windows on the side here and on the front. Very exposed, obviously. I mean, if an enemy really wanted to target the bridge, you can't miss it. But that's Starfleet for you. That's how they design it. Bridge on the outside, not on the inside of the ship. And I think that's how we would probably do it in real life too, is the bridge would be, you know, on the front of the ship or on the top of the ship. It would not be on the inside. You would want real windows to look out and to navigate by as well, especially in case your computers or view screen went down or something. Anyway, alright, so that's it. I'm going to queue up for ice, so stand by. Alright, welcome back everybody. Here we go. This is Ice Infected Space Elite. All ready to go in my Science Odyssey. I will try to use all the science abilities that I can on the Odyssey and exploit those advantages. I'll always deploy some worker bees, and then at that point it'll just be a matter of, am I going to use the Aquarius or the Chevron separation? Most likely I'll end up using chevron separation more than anything on this ship. I'm also going to use the cruiser command ability. I'm going to go with shield frequency remodulation on the science one.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
Now, keep in mind, ice, never difficult. Very easy in the first place. I'm hitting 3 things at once.
Your defensive capabilities are unable to withstand us. Lower your shields and await assimilation.
Cubes go down pretty fast. I don't even have time to use the tachyon beam or energy siphon on cubes here in ice. Especially with a good team like this. Oops. Except I accidentally just did the tachyon thing. Didn't mean to.
Shields have failed.
Okay, let's go use the energy drain on the transformer. Let's see if it actually works. It does work. It's actually draining power from the transformer, so energy siphon does work on that.
Target's shields have failed.
Let's go ahead and chevron separate. This will help us right now since there's a lot of spheres out.
Is futile.
Very good. Okay, let's recall my saucer. There we go. All back together as one.
Warning, ship is under attack.
When we get to the tactical cube, I'll definitely use my tachyon and energy siphon on it. These cubes here, they go down so quick. No chance to use anything, really. I don't know why I did that. I did an auxiliary buff. I don't know why I did that. I was so stupid. Sometimes I just click the wrong buttons. Oops, my ship is accidentally firing on the tactical cube. We don't want that just yet.
From this time forward, your culture will adapt to service ours.
Okay, now we'll beef up my science abilities. We'll do science team, red matter, and the tachyon beam and energy siphon on this thing.
Target shield has failed.
Target shields are down already. Oh, I forgot to use quantum singularity manipulation. That increases my science abilities. I forgot to do that. I'll have to do it on the next STF. That'll boost my science abilities even more.
Your defensive capabilities are unable to withstand us. Lower your shields and await assimilation.
Nice. And that's ice. So what we learned from that is this is an easy STF, but that we already knew. Not a whole lot of options to use most of my specific Odyssey abilities, like the Aquarius, kind of pointless here. Chevron separation a little more useful. The worker bees were always out. Don't really notice them that much though. Oops. And so this one goes pretty fast, pretty good. The tachyon beam and the energy siphon for the science ability is really good there on the tactical cube, and they also work on the gate and the transformers as well, so it's actually useful on more than just the Borg cubes. So that's a pretty good showing there in ice. No damage, didn't explode. Withstood that pretty well. So next I'm going to queue up for CSE, Cure Space Elite, and we'll see how that goes, so stand by. And we're back with the magic of editing. Here we go. This is Cure Space Elite, CSE. Nemo's got Kang, right, middle, left, and everyone's watching Bird of Praise. I'll also watch and make sure no ships get close to the Kang. I'll go after it if I need to. I always watch out for my teammates, as you should as well. Alright, so here we go. Again, I'm going to go with, make sure that I've got the shield frequency modulation on this character for this ship, this science ship. A little more of shield regeneration. This particular STF is rather consuming in the fact that it can do a whole lot of damage to your ship, drain all your shield power, and your shield power, really. Your shield strength will go down very fast in this STF.
Your technological and biological distinctiveness to our own.
I see a problem over there. Nemo's got it, but this Negvar's on my butt. And those Bird of Praise. Okay, he's got it good. Okay, that's destroyed.
You will be assimilated.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target's shield has failed.
Tractor beam helps a lot here. I can hold these raptors in place. That's nice. I'm gonna wait again for the Negvar, and I'll use Tachyon Beam and Energy Siphon on the Negvar. Notice through all of this, I haven't yet used my Photonic Fleet. I'm really trying not to because I want to show you how well a science ship can do even without Photonic Fleet. Although that's there if I need it, and boy, it really can help. Okay, there's a Negvar. I'm gonna power up. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, and that. And then I'll hold him with my tractor beam as well.
Target shield has failed. Four shields failing. Rear shield
Row.
failing. Left shield failing.
Row, no, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh, crap. Okay, well, I probably took on a little too much there. I got a little gung-ho trying to show off. It happens. Raptors headed toward decaying. I guess I should have deployed Photonic Fleet. It would have helped ultimately there in that point.
We are Borg. Surrender your vessel and prepare for assimilation.
Target's shield has failed. Rear shield failing.
Alright, let's go ahead and call the Photonic Fleet. God, this is getting a little hairy.
Resistance is futile.
Below 75%. Four shields failing. Left shield
I'm
failing.
gonna call a Nimbus Pirate too,
Right shield
because
failing.
they can heal me, so that will help.
Hull integrity below 50%.
Can't escape the tractor beam. Wow. I'm on the verge of dying, and there I go. Well, that got crazy fast. Why do we have two battles going on here?
Actual technological and biological distinctiveness.
Maybe that's why it got hairy. We got two battles going on here. He's attacking that one. We're all supposed to be attacking that one first. So it looks like we got a little bit of a mix-up on what's going on here. Well, that'll definitely cause a problem.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
That got kind of crazy, but I think it was because that other dude was over here attacking this one, and so more ships were spawning from it. At the same time, ships were spawning from this one, and it just a lot of ships spawning at once because two different areas were being fought at the same time, and that's what happens when you do that. And sometimes you can't keep up with that, so it's best to focus on one at a time.
Warning, ship is under attack. Shields have failed.
You will be assimilated.
Reward. I took damage that time. All the just blowing up I did. Sickbay damage. I need to go heal that before I start the next one. Okay, so that one was a little hairy. More hairier than it should have been, and I think that was solely because multiple fronts were being fired on instead of one at a time, and that will just cause you to have problems, so try not to do that in the future. Otherwise, this ship performed pretty well. I just needed to concentrate. Yeah, he realized that Scooby-Doo was over there doing stuff too. I think that was the problem. He was like fighting separate ones while we were all fighting the same one. Yep, that can definitely cause a problem. So remember guys, RML, right, middle, left. That means one at a time, right, then middle, then left, as a team, together. And then all is happy and well with the universe. Alright, I am going to pause the video and do a case, so stand by. And welcome back everybody, here we go. This is Case Kittimer Accord Space Elite. We got probe people, and people being probed, and all kinds of things happening. So that's all good. And we will see how this goes now in our Science Odyssey. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go first this time. I'm going to use weapon efficiency mode because we've got to take down this tactical cruiser.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target shields have failed.
Add your technological and biological distinctiveness to our own.
And done. That went down pretty fast. I'm doing pretty good damage on that generator by myself. That's nice. Look at that. I took that down pretty fast. Not bad for a science cruiser. Not bad for not having all the DPS in the world.
Target shield has failed.
Become one with the Borg.
There we go. Cube gone.
Rear shield failing.
The energy siphon actually works. I don't know how well it benefits you, but it does work on these gates. Or these transformers.
Disarm your weapons. You will escort us to your own world, where we will begin assimilating your culture and technology.
Alright, moving on.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Here comes the cruiser, or the Borg. I don't know why I keep calling it a cruiser. The Borg cube.
From this time forward, your culture will adapt to service ours.
I'm pulling out all the stops on this thing. Let's go ahead and use the Aquarius since I haven't used it yet.
Four shields failing.
Your defensive capabilities are unable to withstand us. Lower your shields and await assimilation.
There's my little Aquarius. It's doing its thing. Now to take down the big gate, let's recall the Aquarius. I'm going to chevron separate for, why can't I chevron separate? Oh, there we go. Takes it a second after you recall the Aquarius. Now I can get some more firepower on that thing. Let's give it everything we got.
From this time forward, your culture will adapt to service ours.
Four shields failing.
Man, when you give it everything you got with these science ships, you really can pack a lot of punch. You may not have the highest DPS in the game as a science officer, but you make up for it in other ways. Definitely can. Awesome. Check them out, apples out.
We are Borg. Surrender your vessel and prepare for assimilation.
Sweet. That was nice. That was good. That went pretty fast.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
Nice. That was a good run.
Your defensive capabilities are unable to withstand us. Lower your shields and await assimilation.
Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
Pop the Aquarius. Now I know she's going to fire her main weapon, so I'm trying to get out of the way. Look at that. She's gone. She's had it. Nice. That was awesome. That was a good run. This science ship can pack a punch. Well, that was awesome. That was a great run, everybody. Good run. Nice. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent look at the Science Odyssey. All right. That was great. So that was the Science Odyssey, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed that look at this ship. I tried to do as many science abilities on it as I could to show you its strengths as far as a science vessel. Even though it doesn't have a commander level science bridge officer station, it can still do quite a bit, even though it doesn't have that Commander Psi ability. You can, because it has a Universal Lieutenant Commander bridge officer station, you can still do some pretty good powers with it. And as a siphoning ship, pulling power, draining shields, it can be very powerful with those science abilities. So the tachyon beam in combination with energy siphon and aceton beam, and then directed energy modulation, all of these things will tear down the enemy's shields really fast, and then you can do damage to them. And the abilities I found, worker bees, again, I used them. I didn't really notice that they impacted my health that much. I just don't see it in the STFs as I'm playing. I just don't see the benefit so much of the worker bees. I'm sure they're doing something for me, and if I looked at the numbers, it's probably there that they're healing me. I just don't feel it or notice it as I'm playing the game, so it's almost kind of useless to me. I deploy them all the time anyway, but it's almost kind of useless. Now, what's more important and useful is the chevron separation. I find that to be much more useful on the Odyssey Cruiser. That allows me to turn better. It allows my saucer to do Gravity Well 3, and on this science character, we didn't really get to look at that much. But on this science character, because I am buffing auxiliary power a lot, that would help the gravity well from the saucer. So if I were to play more things, like if I were to do the Undine, which I'm not going to get into right now, maybe we'll revisit the ship later on someday, but like the Undine or whatever, and use a lot of gravity well, it would be more beneficial on the science character, science ship, than it would have been on the operations or the tactical Odyssey. So I find the chevron separation to be very useful. The Aquarius, it adds a little bit more firepower to a science officer, and you can always use more firepower, so it's not bad either. But in order of importance to me is going to be chevron separation, then Aquarius, and then worker bees on the science Odyssey. That's how I'm looking at it. And then, of course, because it's still a cruiser, you have all those cruiser command abilities, and that makes it very appealing in those terms. These are good abilities for a cruiser, and so yet you can have sciencey powers and still have cruiser powers as well. It's a really good hybridization. I cannot say that word. It's a hybrid science cruiser, and it actually does pretty well as that. I'm generally, I mean, I could see myself keeping this ship and flying it for the long term on my science character, and I don't say that for a lot of ships, so I do really like it. Sensor analysis, of course, and all the other science things, and the refracting Tetryon cascade is actually useful because I'm using Tetryon weapons on this thing, so it's all good. I like this ship, and I hope you guys got to see something a little different, and maybe just gives you another choice out there and how you might want to fly a ship. So anyway, that is that. If I were to take off any of the consoles to get me another console space, it might be the... I might actually take out the worker bees. If I needed another science console slot, then that would allow me to put on something to buff my science powers even more, because the worker bees weren't all that useful to me. At least I didn't feel they were. I think the chevron and Aquarius is a little more useful, so I would probably take that off to give me another science console if I needed to, you know, boost my science powers even more, which you can do with fleet level consoles. They have some that buff certain science powers, so that could be done as well. That's obviously a choice you can make. You don't have to put all three consoles on there. If you have all three ships, you can mix them and match them as you need, and that's really pretty cool. One other thing I want to bring up, just because it was it came about during the playthrough that we just did, and actually specific to CSE, Cure Space Elite, during that run. I got into an argument after we finished that CSE before Case started, and I got an argument in the chat, not an argument, a debate, And I noticed that the person who we saw as Scooby-Doo made a conscious decision. He wasn't just doing what he thought, or he didn't know how to play it or whatever. He made a conscious decision to go off and attack those other platforms because he said we weren't doing enough DPS per platform or per character or whatever for right, middle, left. You know, in CSC you do right and then middle and then left as a team. You do the right cube, you take it down, then you do the middle cube, take it down, then you take the left cube and take it down and do the whole thing as a team while one person watches the king. That's right, middle, left. Now he's saying you need to be extremely high DPS to do right, middle, left. I feel a little bit differently. I think a lot of people focus too much on DPS and numbers in this game. I think there is just a, you know, there's a general consensus that obviously the more DPS you do, damage per second, you know, the more damage you're going to do, and certain things can work better with more DPS than less. I'm sure that is true in some situations. But overall, when you have experienced players or players that know what they're doing, or people underestimate highly a science ship, even though it has the lowest DPS in game, people get hung up on that, oh, it's the lowest DPS, you can't do anything as a science character. But I kind of disagree with that. I think that a science character makes up for that lack of DPS in a lot of ways. All my science abilities that I have that I was using to strip down the shields and deplete the enemy of energy, or to debuff them in some way, you know, make their damage resistance lesser, you know, and doing those type of things, and you know, ultimately helps as well. I mean, that can help just as much as just tearing through things with raw DPS. That's the, I guess, the Klingon way, raw DPS firepower, and Science-y is more the Federation way. But it works. It works all the same because it kind of makes up for itself. Plus, I've got Photonic Fleet on my side, which I didn't even call in the situation when I really needed it. I should have buffed my auxiliary power and then used Photonic Fleet in that situation where I was like blowing up. I didn't call upon that power when I should have. So there are a lot of powers and abilities that science characters have, even if they don't have the highest DPS, and you can do right, middle, left with with a science ship, and or all science or whatever. A lot of people just get so hung up on DPS is everything. You can only do certain things certain ways if you have high DPS or whatever. You know, that's just not the case. Too much focus on DPS, not enough focus on let's play the game and have fun. And I kind of said this in my last video, and that's how I'm ending this one too. For the Operations Odyssey, just have fun. Play the game. Don't get so caught up in DPS and you know, yelling at people and telling them that you don't have enough DPS and you can't. I've got to go do my own thing because you don't have enough. You know, just play as a team. Stick together as a team. A lot of people want to go off and think they're doing right by the team by going off and doing their own thing. And that's not generally the case. You've got to play as a team. You've got to help your teammates. We were just getting overwhelmed with spawns in that CSE, so even if you've got more DPS than the other person, don't go take on a whole platform by yourself. It's stupid to take on multiple platforms at once. You get overwhelmed with spawns in CSE. One at a time. As a team, you will find that if you work as a team together, you do a lot more damage together as a team than you're going to ever do separately, even if you have a high DPS build. As a team, you're going to do damage a lot faster. You're going to tear that enemy down, you're going to tear that platform down, you're going to tear that cube down, whatever it is, a lot faster as a team than you are individually. So stick together in these STFs. A lot of people forget that, and just have fun and don't make it crazy and stupid for your other teammates. Come on, guys. Anyway, that's my rant that I just decided to add to the end of this video. If you've stayed around and listened to it, thank you, bless you. I really appreciate that. I have a lot of strong opinions sometimes when I play these things, but I'm seeing a lot of, for some reason, maybe it's just new players, or maybe it's old players that are just feel like they know everything, or it's new players that feel like they know everything, or whatever. I'm just seeing this trend lately where there's a lot of crap that there just doesn't need to be. Anyway, you guys comment, let me know what you think. Maybe I'm flying off the handle here, but I am very passionate about the game because I like it. But it all comes back to one basic thing for me in this game. If I'm not having fun, then there's no point to play it. I play Star Trek Online to have fun. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.